Okay, so today I'm here talking to Hupka from the Hupka team here in our Stafford office, and I'm just gonna get right into it.
Cool.
So offline, we were talking about your house and how it's really so beautiful. You have it on the market right now. It's so well done, and how that translates into the way you dress, the way you show up, everything about how you handle your marketing. Your business is so well branded. Do you think that branding is something that people think, it's just fonts and colors on a website, or does it really extend into your full lifestyle?
I think the whole point of the branding, whether it's for the real estate or your home decor or how you dress, it's really just a representation of you. So for my branding, I want to be clean and classy and elegant and bright and happy. So that's kind of how we approach the branding and how I like to decorate. When somebody looks at our website, I hope they see, obviously it's going to look professional, but I want it to look a certain way, and that aesthetic is bright and airy because that's kind of how I want people to feel when they're around me.
So another thing that I love that you do really well, and it's social media. You're so good at having a really nice balance of personal and business content. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, nobody wants to just see I have a business page. We have like over 600 followers or whatever, but I don't really try to grow that because it's not as exciting. And we do have the posting that goes automatically, which is important to be found by strangers, but the people who are actually going to look at your stuff, it's going to be the people who are more curious. And when you're mixing it up, they're going to go and want to look, whether it's business or personal. And I found like even with the most beautiful professional photos that we pay for, like us going in and doing my own walking tour, it still gets more views than the professional ones.
And with all of this, do you use Facebook or Instagram for prospecting or like lead generation?
I've gotten leads from it. I wouldn't say that I mean, the intention of doing these in videos, the ones I've done instructionally, or, you trying to sell your home, but you're also selling yourself and showing, the consumers and potential clients, like this is how I market our properties. But we do get a lot of inquiries and clients that come to us because they saw our stuff on social media, and it gives them confidence that they know us, which you kind of taught me that. You're like, nobody has your voice on video, and you have to start showing who you are. And so that has been very helpful because people really get a sense of who I am and what it will be like to work with me from the videos that we're posting.
Awesome. Yeah, you're really good at that. Another thing that I love that you do is you really show up to things. Like you come to events, you're part of leadership council, you're in office meetings here locally in the Stafford office. Why is it so important to show up?
Well, real estate's about connections. I mean, we can get into like the technical stuff, which is really cool stuff like marketing and negotiating and all of that. But the reality is that you can't do those parts of the job if you aren't connecting with the public. And in Redwood, I find it such a collaborative environment. So I like being around the other agents and I love learning from them. Every time I go anywhere, I find that I walk away going, wow, I didn't know that, or hey, that's a great idea that somebody shared. And occasionally I share a great idea, and that's very rewarding too. So showing up and being part of it, you get the best experience from your company if you are part. People care if I have an opinion on something, which I love that they respect how I feel about things in the company. And so, just part of being part of the process is great.
Which one is your favorite that you've been a part of?
I'd say leadership council has been the best because I look around the room and I'm like, wow, this is the smartest people in the company, one of the best companies too. And they're so generous with their advice and they share what they're doing successfully. And again, I walk away going, wow, that's fantastic. I need to do that. And it inspires me to kind of go back and be better.
So it's gonna be kind of a harder one, but
Okay.
what would you say are the top three things that have contributed to your success the most?
The top three things is kind of hard, but I think I care. Like I'm very passionate and driven and I want to be good. So because I care so much, my clients know that I care about them. Like our goals are the same. It's not just about closing a deal and getting paid. It's about like getting them, protecting them. If they're the seller, the buyer, making sure that, they're getting the best deal and not being taken advantage of. So because I care, I think that's really important. Because I have a desire to be better than my competition. So our branding originally, the logo has always been experience the difference. Because that was the whole point. I'm going to show you how I can do it better than my competition. And I do that by going above and beyond. And I want to know more than everybody else. I want to be more educated, prepared, experienced. So I think that passion and drive is what has made it. And the third thing is I feel like we do connect with our clients because even though I like to be very professional, the reality is I care about what's happening in their lives when they're going through this move. So sometimes it's death, it's divorce, it's a parent who needs to be put in a home. It could be something very exciting like we just got married and we're having our third kid and we need a bigger house, but I care. And so that connection is good and people feel safe with me. And I like that.
Are you from this area?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been here? Do you
My
have a lot
whole
of
life,
connections?
yeah. So I think that again is the connection to the community, the connection to like everything I've ever done in my life is like I can't escape it because it's here. So I have a greater sense of accountability, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to put it. I've never actually thought of it that way, but it makes perfect sense. You also have a team. It's a small team, but what are the benefits of being on a team and also keeping that team small?
Um, our we tried a bigger team. So the benefit of a team, period. I don't know that anyone could really do real estate on a high level without a team. Because one, it requires so many different skill sets, especially with the way technology and marketing has evolved in the industry. And so I feel like you need a collaborative group of people who can share their strengths and weaknesses. So that's the biggest part about a team. The other part is you can't be everywhere. And our business is like all day, 7 days a week. We don't have business hours. We don't have like holidays and things like that. So, in order to have the coverage and stamina and represent for your clients the way they need you to have a teammate who can be in the field doing something while the other person is making sure that all the paperwork is getting done and all of the negotiations are being handled correctly. So I feel like you can't be everywhere and you need those resources of your team. The smaller team, again, once you have identified, like, here's where I'm really good at, and here's what he's really good at, and she's really good at, that creates this whole cohesive synergy. But sometimes having too many people on the team can get complicated, and, realtors, they can have egos and insecurities. And so I found like just dealing with multiple agents on a larger team for me wasn't the best way to go. Yeah, we
Yeah.
found our groove and we know how to work it very efficiently and it works very well.
And you do all of your own marketing, don't you?
Yes.
What have you learned from it? Like, do you enjoy it?
My favorite part is marketing. Like during COVID, when houses were selling really, really fast and, really didn't have to do the marketing part, I didn't enjoy that as much. Honestly, it wasn't as fulfilling, even though it was our best sales years. And I love negotiating. So those are the two favorite parts of the job for me.
Yes, this is like your bread and butter type market right now.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest with you, I was kind of relieved when things did slow down because it gets rid of all of those people who were just out for a paycheck. And it makes people like us who really thrive in challenging markets stand out. And it reminds people why they shouldn't just hire their cousin or their neighbor to sell their home, but they really want the professionals who have a proven track record and they know will get things done that others can't.
Yeah.
So I love that. But the marketing it's fun. Again, you're looking at beautiful homes. I think that there's a difference just putting on those photos that we get professional photographers to take. I mean, I'm very selective with which photos I'm showing. If an angle makes something appear narrow, I'm not going to use it. If a photo shows something that I think would be negative to a buyer, I'm not going to include it. Strategically trying to get those first images of whatever is going to be the most selling point for that property out there. So I think that if you're good at marketing, you're taking it just beyond taking those professional photos, throwing them on the MLS. You're really focusing on who's my buyer, what is the best part of this home that's going to appeal to these prospective buyers, and then making sure it's out there because their attention span is so quick.
Spoken like a true marketer. Do you have a favorite home that you've sold or a favorite buyer or seller that you've worked with?
My favorite home that I sold recently was in Augustine, and Gemma is an executive at Nordstrom and has this incredible style that I'm super envious of because I love how she does everything, but I'm not willing to spend the money to buy the beautiful things that she owns. And it was just such a stunning home that I could literally break down each of the rooms and do videos just highlighting those rooms. And she had just done like a $300,000 kitchen renovation. So that was my favorite home to market.
Oh, you'll have to send me the address so I can look it up later.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. So that's fun. It's been fun marketing my own home that I have on the market. So
Yeah, it looks
that's kind of fun
beautiful.
too.
So how long have you been in real estate?
22 years.
And how long have you been with Redwood?
7 years. Yeah, 7 years.
Okay. So, in a world where people change brokerages all the time, why have you been with Redwood for those 7 years? What makes you continue to stay?
First of all, Redwood, when we met Sean, um, his enthusiasm kind of matched mine. We had interviewed with a few other brokers, but the deciding factor was that I felt like the other brokers were really eager to have us because they felt like they needed us more than we needed them, in a sense of they wanted us to help recruit other agents, because if people know that a good agent's with a good a company, they're going to assume it's a good company. But when I looked at Redwood, I thought, you know what? I want to partner with somebody who can bring something to me and actually make me better for it. And the guy's commitment to like technology and training and business planning and bringing in like, Tom Ferry and all of these other things, I felt like this is a true partnership that's going to help me be better than I am. And that's what I was looking for. And I've never been disappointed. I've continued to be super impressed by how the leadership in our company is very agent centric. They care about us. They're always looking to make us better. It's not about them and their bottom line. I never get that sense from them, because I see them spending a lot of money doing things for the agents and for the company to be the best. That I think other brokers would be too cheap to do. And so I love that. And also, really, the agents, because I think our leadership is the culture here is so agent centric that I feel like our fellow agents are very generous. They're generous with their knowledge, they're generous with their support. And so I've never really experienced that at other brokerages. Typically, you're in a very competitive, even with people you like, they're still very competitive for our local business. So I love that.
Yeah.
Makes me want to be a more generous agent and show other agents things. So that's been great, and that's where I stay. But even the other agents, I remember our first awards banquet. We were at the MGM, and it was a huge banquet hall, and our table was kind of in the back, and we had to get up a couple of times to go get awards. And the Fredericksburg office, which is a little further south than us, was sitting kind of right up front. And every time Ted and I went up, they were high-fiving us and they were cheering for us. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool that this other, local office is excited that we're winning awards. And I really never got that at other brokerages. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It is very
it's very
special.
genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Well, thank you, Anne, for being here, and I'll see you at the next Leadership Council meeting or maybe company event.